So I'm here with Margot Young, and Margot's recently again connected with Citywide. Were you a member of Citywide when you were first here?
When I was first here, I was a member of Eastern Shore Baptist Church.
Now let's talk about that. Because when you first came to Eastern Shore Baptist Church, you weren't a regular attender at church.
No,
So it must have
didn't
been a
happen.
strange experience. I believe your daughter dragged you along to church
She gently encouraged me.
to come along to Eastern Shore Baptist Church, which at that stage was meeting at Rosny.
Yes,
And what was it like? What was the church like back then?
the church was a big surprise to me because I walked into this auditorium full of people, and they were all singing, and they weren't. They used a lot of choruses, and they were bright and cheerful and uplifting, and I think it really took my breath away a bit, just seeing and just learning what church could be like.
Now, we've spoken earlier, and one of the things that was helpful for me to hear was that you were taking this other journey, which meant I think your care for people was getting deeper, and you were learning about the importance of listening through Lifeline.
Yes, I'd had some help myself from Lifeline, and then I was encouraged to train as a telephone counsellor, so I did that, and I spent quite a few years part-time, volunteering there.
And you took a journey which meant eventually you went over to Victoria, and you came back and you connected with Lindisfarne Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes.
and as part of that, you ended up taking on some leadership roles in that.
I first started off helping with the singing and being one of the upfront singers every Sunday, well, often. And then I was asked if maybe I would plan and lead a service. That was scary. But I learned to hand it over to God as I was driving to church on the Sunday morning, and feel comforted then by the fact that it was His service, it wasn't really mine, and that I was just doing what I was there to do.
Well, what I love is you then took a journey. Eventually, that little fellowship closed down, and as they went into COVID, it really sort of permanently ended. And as you went into COVID, you ended up connecting with us online again.
Yes, I did. I didn't ever believe I would end up back here. That was the last thing on my mind. When COVID hit, I felt quite lost and adrift, and I was at one stage in danger, I think, of thinking, oh, I don't need to go to church, I'm all right. But God had other ideas, and of course I started looking online, and one day found your service, and I think just seeing you standing on the banks of the Derwent with you giving your message was just such a I don't know, again, such a change and such a coming back to the basics. And so I thought, oh yes, this looks good. And then I ended up with a small home church at my place, 3 of us, and that worked well. But of course then once things opened up, we thought we'd come here. I think, I was very hesitant when I first came, and a bit wary. But of course there are quite a few of the people here who were at Eastern Shore when I was there, so it was a bit of a homecoming in a way. One thing, when I was watching the online services and towards the end of COVID restrictions, I found that you were, as a church, were accepting of the fact that online was part of your remit. You would have online as part of it, instead of saying, okay, COVID's over, we'll forget online. It's part of it, and I really thought, I was really very impressed by that thinking that said these people who can only watch online or are sick or something like that have somewhere. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate. I'm appreciating getting to know you as you're back, but also while Anne's away, you've also taken on responsibility for helping manage our prayer times in the service,
Yes.
which is wonderful.
Again, when she first asked me, I thought, can I do that? That particular day, I just went around as I got on with my day and praying all the time that God would give me an answer. And he did. He kept saying, yes, of course you can. Don't be silly.
Well, I don't know if people pick it up, but I see the fingerprints of grace right the way through your life. And it is wonderful to have you back as part of what was Eastern Shore Baptist Church and now is Citywide.
It's like a circle I've come. Sometimes myself and stay put. You're getting near the end of your life, stay here.
Well, I'm grateful that you're staying here. Margot, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Matt.